Welcome to the Stateless Standard, where we raise the golden torch of liberty against the darkness of fiat illusions and statist money manipulation. We live in a world drowning in debt and inflation. The evidence continues to mount that big Western economies are heading towards a banking and monetary crisis of epic proportions. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing the consequences of decades of unsound money on a grand scale. The era of fiat is coming to an end, and its death will be painful. Today, we turn back the pages of history to understand why the gold standard once provided stability, and why its abandonment has enslaved generations to the whims of central bankers and governments. History and legal precedent tell us that fiat will die. So let's expose the facts, the myths, and the lessons the powerful hope you'll forget. From the dawn of civilization, real money has always been gold, silver, or copper. Everything else is credit. Ancient Rome codified this in the 12 tables of 449 BC, distinguishing sharply between metallic money and mere promises to pay. Coincidentally, in China, Confucius and his successors reached similar conclusions. Money must be tangible, not a ruler's whim. Yet rulers throughout history have tried to debase or confiscate it, usually to fund wars or hide their debts. As Europe transitioned from feudal agriculture to industrial capitalism, credit exploded. Banking evolved to create it on demand. The first true banks appeared in medieval Italy, where private bankers accepted deposits and issued bills of credit. As Ferdinando Galliani noted in 1751, Italians became the fathers, the masters, and the arbiters of commerce, their private banks spreading across Europe. In England, the goldsmiths of London took this further after the Restoration in 1660. Merchants deposited gold and silver coin, receiving interest-bearing credits in return. Goldsmiths traded with those deposits, realizing they could safely issue far more credit than they held in specie, often 10 times their cash reserves, because deposits flowed in and out in rough balance. This fractional reserve system fueled commerce, but rested on the promise of convertibility into gold or silver. Enter the Bank of England. Founded in 1694 as a private institution with a government charter, it became the model for central banking. By 1717, Sir Isaac Newton, as master of the mint, fixed the gold guinea at 21 shillings, tilting Britain toward a de facto gold standard. In 1816, Parliament made gold the sole legal measure of value, with the sovereign coin defining the pound at £3.17 per ounce, about 7.32 grams of pure gold. Britain's gold standard wasn't perfect. It allowed the Bank of England to suspend convertibility in 1797 during the Napoleonic Wars, leading to massive note inflation. The price of gold soared, and the pound depreciated. This prompted the 1810 Bullion Committee, which concluded that excess paper caused the crisis, and that the only reliable check on overissuance was convertibility into specie. The committee warned, no safe, certain, and constantly adequate provision against an excess of paper currency can be found except in the convertibility of all such paper into specie. Parliament ignored the report at first, but the ensuing credit boom and bust, half of England's country banks failed between 1814 and 1816, proved the committee right. By 1821, Britain resumed full convertibility. The 19th century became the golden age of sound money, with the pound as the world's reserve currency. The United States followed a similar path. The Constitution gave Congress the power to coin money and regulate its value, explicitly metallic coinage. Alexander Hamilton's 1791 Bank of the United States mimicked the Bank of England, issuing notes and lending to government. But its charter expired in 1811 amid fierce opposition. The second bank followed in 1816, only to be killed by Andrew Jackson in 1836, who correctly saw it as a tool of elite privilege. America's own gold standard began in 1834, with the dollar fixed at $20.67 per ounce of gold. This era of relatively free banking without a central bank saw rapid growth, but also panics when banks overextended credit. The real test came with the Bank Charter Act of 1844 in Britain, which aimed to separate the Bank of England's issue and banking departments and tie note issuance strictly to gold reserves, beyond a fixed fiduciary limit. Critics, including the currency school, argued this was too rigid. In practice, it didn't prevent credit expansion through deposits and bills, only notes were restricted. The act failed to stop the 1847 and 1857 crises, proving that fractional reserve banking could still inflate credit dangerously. Worldwide, the classical gold standard peaked from 1870 to 1914. Nations like Germany, 1871, France, and the US joined, creating a global system of stable exchange rates, low inflation, and unprecedented trade and prosperity. Gold anchored money, disciplined governments, and limited war financing. But the 20th century saw its destruction. World War I forced suspensions of convertibility. Britain abandoned gold in 1931, the US in 1933, Roosevelt's confiscation, and the Bretton Woods system of 1944 created a pseudo-gold standard with dollars as the anchor, until Nixon closed the gold window in 1971. Since then, pure fiat has reigned. Endless inflation, skyrocketing debt, and central bank bailouts. The lesson is clear. Gold standards worked when they truly tied credit to specie. They failed when governments and banks undermined convertibility to fund deficits and wars. Today, with fiat drowning in debt, the productive class suffers while the powerful print their way out of accountability. The gold standard isn't nostalgia. It's the only proven way to anchor money in reality, not politician promises. Developing nations like Russia and China are wise to consider it now, before the dollar's collapse drags everyone down. If this torch has illuminated the truth for you, subscribe to the Stateless Standard for more unfiltered history and economics from an anarcho-capitalist perspective. Like and share to spread the light. Comment: do you believe a return to gold is inevitable, or will statists fight it to the end? Until next time, keep questioning the money printers, the people against the powerful. Liberty endures.